let's just put it this way. It's not a good way of putting it, but there is no good way of putting things that are beyond words. See if you can sense your own presence as you sit here. Now, what does that mean? It's not your own, so the presence that you are. Now, this cannot be described because the presence that you are has no form. I do not mean the thoughts that go through your head as you sit here. I don't mean the physical body. I don't mean that you have to look at your physical body. But an entry point into the presence that you are would be a sensing of the inner energy field that pervades your body as you sit there and as you listen and as you perceive visually also. Just feel the inner body, the aliveness in a very subtle way. To be embodied, one could say. To inhabit the body, to be here, so that your presence is not confined to the head, because that's where the thinking takes place. And if you sit here as a thinking entity only, this gathering is not going to be very satisfying, because the thinking entity, that for most people is all they know, that's where their identity comes from, it's the delusion. The thinking entity gets restless very quickly and says, okay, what's going on? What's the next thing he's going to say? He's been talking about the now for too long. And it goes. The thinking mind says, okay, I know now that there's only the now what's the next thing? And the next thing doesn't come. And so the thinking mind very quickly goes somewhere else. Starts thinking about this evening, or this morning, or what I could be doing now. It's sunny outside. I could be lying in the sun. Why did I come here? Blah, blah, blah. How can I get out of here? And it goes on and on. There's no end. It would be quite funny. You can just follow it in your own mind. Basically, every mind is the same. The basic structures are the same. Content varies a little. So that you're not here as just a thinking entity up here. So in order for this to be a satisfying afternoon, which really means a satisfying present moment, is the deeper truth, it helps greatly if you can sense your presence. And the entry point into presence is the inner energy field as you sit here. And as I say that, you may start that your hand feel that your hands are alive on the inside. Feet, legs, arms. There's a certain aliveness there, a global sense of aliveness. And it's a field of conscious presence. And what we'll call the physical body is, on a deeper level, is part of the field of conscious presence. So you sit here as a conscious presence, a presence. And that's the light of consciousness that makes this gathering possible, that it arises in the light of your consciousness, the consciousness. of course it could be a dream, and in some way it is a little bit like a dream, like everything else, because everything evaporates very quickly. Whatever you experience has a very limited lifespan, and then it evaporates, and then something else comes into the space of consciousness that you are. And that always remains. The space remains. What arises in the space changes all the time. And so many mystics, spiritual teachers, poets have have compared ordinary human existence with a dreamlike state. This evening or tomorrow morning, you wake up and you remember this gathering. And perhaps for a moment, if you wake up in the morning, you say, okay, did I dream that, or was I actually there? Was he talking there? Or was it a dream? For a moment you may not be quite sure, because sense perceived reality is as fleeting almost as a dream. The only thing, so you can doubt whatever experience comes into your life, you can doubt its reality if you want to, and say, well, maybe it's just a dream, and on a deeper level it is a kind of dream. But even if it is a dream, if everything is a dream, something must be there, a space or a light in which the dream happens. So what happens? It's a kind of dream. But the dream appears in a space or a light that enables the dream to be. And you are that space.